Guess what, guys? I have a microphone. Oh my God. Am I like an official YouTuber yet? Anyways, today I want to talk about, do I still have that car that had the rod knock? Was the engine replacement successful? And like, what am I driving now? And based on those two questions, you can probably guess that I do not still have it. Yeah, that's right. So this is an unfortunate story of a lot of money wasted, but also a lot of lessons learned. And the way that I'm getting through this is I am thinking of all the things that went wrong with this car that may or may not have been my fault, as school, like car school, where I learned about cars and how to work on them and understanding how they work and stuff like that. And also another chance for me to learn the lesson that I've learned so many times in my life, but somehow keep forgetting about: if it's not broken, don't fix it. Shout out to the guy that replaced the engine and then helped me with a bunch of other stuff, because when I brought the car to him at first, he was like, hey, we could replace the engine because that's the solution, but like, based on the age and condition of this car, you should probably just get a different car. Like, he was trying to not do it and not make money from me. He was trying to be like, this is not smart. But I was like, I love this car, blah, blah, blah. And like, I was very attached to the car and still am. Like, now when I drive around, I'm looking out for it because like I traded it in and I wonder if I'll ever see it driving around. I really hope I do. But anyways, I want to talk about what all happened with that car after the engine got replaced. So yes, he successfully did it wasn't the whole engine. He had the head machined and put that back on and got a different block in it. It was another used block, but obviously it was one that was still working because the car worked after that and didn't make this noise anymore. The noise. Let me know if these lights are distracting, by the way. I put this one and these, and this is with, I have grow lights over me and they're on a timer, so they're on right now. I had a different video where they're not on. Like, let me know if these lights are distracting. This is the default setting when I just switch them on, but I can set them to like a steady state and not moving. Anyways, I'll continue. So, yeah, the block came from a different car, and then it didn't make the noise anymore, so that was great. And then it was great for a minute, but part of what I had been chasing down before we did the engine replacement was why the gas mileage had like went down. I was trying to get it back to at least above 20. Like, that was really hard. On a real good day, it could have done that, and it wasn't my driving, because I did drive kind of bad a little bit ago, but like at the end, because there was so many problems with the car, and I think it had a transmission problem looming. It was like I was trying to drive really slowly and not go past a certain like, once I went over 40, between 40 and 50, that gear was starting to have problems. So I always kept it under 40. And I don't know, I feel like the gas mileage should have been better, but like whatever. So I was chasing it down, and after the engine got replaced, I did a lot of basic stuff. I changed the radiator cap, I changed the gas cap, I changed the oil cap. I feel like those were good things to do. The rubber on all of those was like garbage. Like, when you compared them, I was like, wow, that should have been done like 5 years ago. But and then I also replaced like the PCV valve, and some like one of the hoses with it too was kind of gross. I think it was the hose that went onto the valve was kind of like, once I took the valve off, like I had to like peel the hose away, and I was like, nah, I don't feel comfortable reusing. Um, and then something else that happened is one of the bearings went bad. And so I tried to just replace the bearing, and guys, don't ever do that. Fuck that, dude. Because what you got to do is you got to rent this press kit from one of these auto parts stores, and then you got to press the old bearing out and press the new bearing in without messing something up. And like, oh my God, it is so hard and also very loud. Like, I do a lot of my stuff at night because that's when I'm awake. And it was very loud, and I felt really bad for like my boyfriend and my neighbors. And even after all that, like, getting the old bearing out was really hard, and I have been using a sledgehammer with the one of the press pieces that fit. And then finally I destroyed a couple, like, okay, so I got it out with the sledgehammer. And then I destroyed a couple new bearings trying to get them in, even with the kit, it was like really hard. And somebody online was like, put it in the freezer first. And I was like, I don't know, I don't like that either. And so then finally I took it to a machine shop to have him press it into my original knuckle. Because yeah, what happened in between was I was like, dude, do they sell loaded knuckles already? Why do I gotta press this in myself? So then I got a loaded knuckle for like $200 or something, like not cheap, dude. And I actually managed to get all this stuff out of the wheel well and like take the old knuckle off and put the new knuckle on. And I put it all back together and I was like so proud. And then I was like, okay, now I just need an alignment and then we're good. So then I took it to get an alignment, and I don't know if this is true or not. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But the guy at the alignment shop was like, oh, this knuckle isn't the same size as the other one, so now you need some offset ball joint or something to compensate so we can get your alignment correct again. And I was like, I mean, I understand it's like aftermarket, but like, is it really that different? I kind of feel like you're trying to rip me off, but I don't know, maybe it was true. And I was like, screw all that, because with paying for the joint and also the installation, they wanted $600 for that. And I was like, sir, I've already paid over $5,000 into this car in just the last couple months. Like, I cannot with that. So I decided to get another bearing and take it to the machine shop and have that guy try to press the bearing into the original knuckle. But I had damaged it so bad with the sledgehammer. When he looked at it, he was like, whoa, I wouldn't put this on my car, are you sure? And I was like, is that not how they usually look after you take things out? And he was like, no, what were you doing to it? And I was like, sledgehammering it for like an hour. And he was like, wow, that is what it looks like. So he tried anyways, and it did not ever go fully in. I think I bent part of it in a way that it could not fully seat anymore. So that would have been like a major safety hazard. So I just threw it away and I just ran with the aftermarket knuckle, because what the fuck else am I going to do? And so yeah, now the bearing worked. It was slightly out of alignment, but I was like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. And I'm like, that's not really what's destroying the gas mileage. Like, there's bigger problems on this car. I don't really care. I do rotate my tires. It'll be okay. Whatever. Oh my God. Also, what I got after the engine was replaced was a new set of tires. $800, dude. Okay. That'll be important later. And then I was trying to do nice things for the car because I just got the engine fixed. So it's going to be great and I'm going to have it for a while longer. So I'm going to make it really enjoyable for me. And one of the things I see on these modern cars around that I've always wanted is steering wheel audio control. The car did not come with that option. I have a video on my channel where I show how I installed it. It was a pain, but it was totally worth it. I really enjoyed it and appreciated it. And I feel really accomplished that I put that in. The timing is unfortunate because it was like $150 to do that. And then I very shortly after got rid of the car. But for the time that it was in there, I enjoyed it. And I learned how to get into the steering wheel. And I learned how to get in behind the radio. So that was cool. So now I know how to do things in the engine area. I know how to do my brakes and stuff. I know how to replace lug nuts, maybe not, or lug studs. I mean, lug nuts are like easy. But yeah, I replaced a few lug studs. Actually, funny story on that. After the first bearing went bad and I replaced it, then I got to drive the car for a few days before the next problem showed up. And that was 2 more bearings went bad because I figured out how to check them. You like jack up each side of the car and like spin the wheel and listen. And I did that and 2 more went bad. And dude, this car had a thing where when it was idling sometimes at like red lights, it would like sound like there was a machine like gun in the engine or something, and it would like vibrate a lot. And I wonder if that was like making parts fail early because like they're not supposed to be like vibrated and shook like that all the time. It was like pretty intense. I also didn't know it was doing that, and this was part of why I was like replacing things and trying to chase it down. But anyway, when I was messing with trying to fix the bearing on the rear wheel, or like maybe before then, I don't know, doing something with it, I broke one of the studs off. So I went to go replace it, and when I pulled it back through, it somehow wasn't straight enough that the rotor wouldn't go back on. So I like kept hammering it in place, but there were two that I replaced at the same time. So I kept trying to hammer them in the way that the rotor would fit, but then I like lost track of which ones they were. So I was just hammering all the different lug nuts in different directions, trying to get, or the stud, sorry, I keep mixing it. But I was trying to get the rotor back on. And I did get the rotor on, but Jesus Christ, I had to like hammer that thing on with a rubber mallet. And whoever has to get that off next, like maybe you should just probably replace the whole assembly. Don't even bother with the rotor because more than half the studs on that have been replaced at this point. Sorry. That's probably true of every single wheel, by the way. Just replace all of the hubs at this point and the bearings, because at least half of them are still bad because I didn't do them, because I had already given up at that point. I think that might be, I tried to get the gas pump. I tried to replace the gas pump. So I ordered myself one and I watched some videos. And if I had been able to get that gas pump ring lock loosener tool from the auto parts store onto it, it would have been fine because it has this latch thing that you attach and you can use a breaker bar. But the way the Sonata is designed, it's like you take off this square cover and then the hole is under there, but it's like offset. And it's like shallow, so you can't fit that tool in there, which is terrible. So I was sitting there with a brass chisel hammering it, and I had to use brass because like you don't want to make a spark because you can blow up because it's gas. So I was like hammering that dude literally for 3 hours one day after work. Like I started at like 6 p.m. and finally at 9, I was like, I should probably stop so people can sleep. Everybody probably hates me. And then I finally took it to that shop that I really liked where the guy told me I should have just got a new car. And every time I wanted him to do something on this car, he would be like, why do you want to do that? Like, he's like Middle Eastern, he has a little accent. And he would be like, why do you want to do that? Like, it's not broken. Don't need to fix. Why you want to do that? And I'm just like, well, the gas mileage is bad. And he's like, it working, yeah? And I was like, yeah, but like, I'm trying to fix the gas mileage. And he's like, okay, but why? Like, thank you. I should have listened. But no, I already had the pump, so it wasn't, I think it was only $100 or $200 for them to like do the work to replace the pump. I don't even know how they got it off, but they did it. And guess what? That also didn't fix the gas mileage problem. I don't even know what was causing the gas mileage problem. Honestly, I think it was probably related to the transmission going bad. One thing I did do after I got the engine fixed was I tried to fix the transmission. The best way I found was I added a bottle of Lucas transmission fix, and this stuff is insane, dude. It's like this red, sweet smelling, really thick liquid. It's really dark red, so it's similar to transmission fluid, but it is so much thicker. It's like, I think it's a 1 quart bottle maybe. It took like at least 10 minutes for this bottle go into the transmission, like for it to pour out of the bottle, because that's how thick it is. I was like, is this okay? But after I put that in, it worked a lot better. Like I can still feel that it had some problems between 40 and 50, whatever gear that is. But the rest of it, I could like tell that it was smoother. And I was like, wow, that little bottle, I think it's less than $20. Like, if your transmission's having problems and you're like, I'm not trying to replace this, I'm just trying to get some life out of the car until it goes bad, that will do it. Especially if your transmission leaks anyways, perfect, there's room. Add a bottle of that in, and then just keep topping it off with your standard transmission fluid. Perfect. Anyway, all in all, with tools and everything, I have not reached 10,000 for that car this year, so that's good. But it was definitely over 5. But now my garage is fully stocked, and I consider this whole experience to be my tuition learning about cars. So now I know how to work on a car, any end of it. Like, obviously I used to do like detail stuff, like on my paint and washing it and cleaning it and like decorating the inside. I know how to do all that. So now I know pretty much everything about cars, which is really nice. And having come out of all of that, I think I will pay professionals to do non-standard work on my cars from now on. I will definitely do my standard maintenance, like my oil changes, my tire rotations, my, most of my fluid stuff. But if a knuckle needs to be replaced again, I don't know. I might just let the dealership do it so that if something goes wrong, that's on them and they have to fix it, and not that it's sitting in my garage waiting 2 weeks for a part to come in that I think will fix it. And then you snap off a rusty bolt that you didn't think was going to snap. This happened on my rear brakes, dude. Oh my God. I snapped off a rusty caliper bolt. And why is it that no auto parts store carries the caliper bolt for the 2007 Sonata? I see them around. People have these cars and it's a small bolt. Like, is it that hard to keep it in stock? Because when I broke it and needed it and went to the store, they were all like, it's going to get here in like 5 days minimum. And I was like, you don't have a bolt in this store that's this size? Really? And finally, this one guy that like his whole thing was cars, he like helped me find a bolt for a different purpose that like fit that, but it wasn't quite right. It was a little bit too long, so it wasn't like perfect, but it fit so I could still drive the car. But I was like, what a dumb problem to have. Like now my car got to sit in the garage. Like, what if that was my only vehicle and like I use my car to work all day? So then what? Now I can't work for a week because I'm waiting for a fucking $5 bolt that's not in stock? No. So anyways, cars are like difficult and complicated, and respect the people that work on them. And if they need a few days because they need to get a part in, you better believe they're still a lot faster than you probably would be at home. So when you wonder why the labor makes the whole process twice as expensive, you try doing that at home and add up the like time and stuff per your hourly rate you make at your job and see how much it really costs you to do it at home instead. Like, you are getting a deal getting someone else to work on your car. That's how I feel about it now, having gotten all the tools and learning to work on cars. Like, mad respect to all the car mechanics out there. Anyways, I traded it in and I got a Honda, and the guy at the Honda dealership told me it was worth $500. He also asked me if it had been in an accident because it had so much work done on it. Like, it's been repainted and the engine's been replaced. And he was just like, so no accidents? And I was like, no. And he was like, right, it's worth $500. And I was like, oh, fuck. Well, the new tires are already $800. And I tried to tell him, but he was like, well, see what we're going to have to do with this, because it can't be sold as a certified used car because they have guidelines and mine doesn't fit it. Just immediately it having been repainted disqualifies it, but multiple other things. Anyways, he was like, we're going to have to sell it to an auction and they're going to have to make money back on it. And like, basically it's almost a loss for us, so we can only give you $500. And I was like, well, I kind of wanted to keep it and keep working on it, but because of the shitty timing, and I don't know if you can hear this noise outside, but they're replacing our roofs in our neighborhood, and this is a whole year-long project. They're halfway through, and like it's taking up a lot of the parking space, so people have to park outside of their garages when they're having their roof worked on, and they're blocking off the streets around where they're working. And I was like, I don't need to be like a dick and add another vehicle to the mix of the already limited parking. And also, I don't want anything falling on my new car. Like, I want my garage available for my new car too. And like, okay. So I traded it in. It would have been fun to keep it and keep working on it, but I probably would have just wasted another $10,000 and then given up. So like, good for me for not. I got a Honda Civic Hybrid, and next video that I'm probably going to go make right now in the garage is going to be all about that and what I've done to it already, and it's really exciting. So yeah, that's what happened to the Sonata. If you see a purple 2007 Hyundai Sonata with all the chrome on it blacked out, that one was mine. And please comment on this video if you see it around. I can't give you the exact location because I don't want people fighting me, but I live near Portland, Oregon. That's all I can really say. I guess it could be anywhere in Oregon or even Washington. Who knows where they end up after an auction, but yeah. Thanks for watching.